Welcome to the Heen View, a podcast series which interviews a range of local sports club representatives during the COVID-19 shutdown. We find out what these clubs are doing during the current health crisis, which has seen winter sports postponed. I'm Mark Heenan, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Mark Stone. Welcome, Stoney.
Yeah, another week, another guest, and a very exciting girl who's a country girl at heart, but we'll find out a lot more about it as we go on.
Thanks for that, Mark Stone. And yes, we are joined by someone that's a bit of a country girl at heart in terms of where her origins began in this sport. And look, it is a prominent local netball club coach who's also a soon mum-to-be. Our guest grew up in Princetown along Victoria's picturesque Great Ocean Road and has been playing netball since she was 12 years of age, including stints with Camperdown. She has represented Victoria at a junior level and played in country community leagues and also in metropolitan environments. She's played in the Victorian Netball League, had V&L stints with Ballarat, Boroondara, Monash and the Geelong Cougars. In 2016, Ballerine Football League Netball Club Modewarre recruited this star netballer after her stint with GFL club St Mary's. She is a two-time A-grade premiership player with Modewarre in 2017 and also 2018, and where she was the Modewarre senior netball captain. She's played in all positions on the netball court. Last season, she was named in the BFL Netball Team of the Year and finished third in the BFL Netball League Best and Fairest with 22 votes, which was an amazing effort. In 2020, she was announced as the Modewarre senior netball coach. She is tall, well-respected, a qualified physical education teacher who has worked at 2 different primary schools and is in the early stages of maternity leave. It is with great delight to welcome Kathryn Vickers to the Heen View. Welcome, Kath.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. That's a very long rap sheet. Thank you.
It is a bit, but you got a lot of awards on the spectrum, and in terms of some of your playing achievements have been magnificent. Just a quick one. The first one I wanted to ask you was talking about the pregnancy side and all that. Are we going to see something on Zoom? Because I know Zoom has been your lifeblood of the last couple of weeks, whether it's school or whether it's probably the Modewarre netball community. You've been doing a lot of things on Zoom.
Yes, we have. School meetings. I wasn't allowed to go into school. So we had some trivia nights and some modern netball sort of meetings and things. And then, even friends catch-ups and trivia. So I've been on Zoom for a fair bit.
How's the pregnancy going? How close are you to the birth?
Still, 6 weeks away. So I started my maternity leave officially yesterday.
So what I wanted to talk about having you on the program is that we do specialise in talking to local club guests and getting different perspectives on their sports. You've been confronted with a number of scenarios this season. You've come off last season where you finished in the prelim final, and then the year before that you won the flag, and then the year before that you also won as well. So you've had some successful stints. How do you plan for a scenario with you being the netball coach, not just the netball captain? Then you've got to take the pregnancy side to that. Plus, you've got the COVID-19 situation. I mean, how many different scenarios have you planned for at the moment?
Oh, well, at the start of the season, when we did pre-season, it was awesome. We had such a good vibe. Everyone was, we had 30 plus girls turning up to pre-season trainings, and the vibe around the club was amazing. Then we started training in our squads, and then we didn't really know that this was happening until we got told, we can't train anymore. And then we all sort of dropped everything netball wise and sort of just thought, okay, well, where to from here? We'll just wait for a directive from the club and AFL Barwon and see what we're going to do here. We sort of, because my partner is the B-grade netball coach, so we sort of talk about our squad and what we're going to do. So we're sort of throwing the names in the air, and we were so excited. But we obviously had to put a halt to that pretty quickly. And since then, we had our AB squad selected, and in Messenger we sort of kept in touch by putting one girl was nominated to put a workout in the group, and then somebody else was nominated for the next day. So it was sort of keeping everyone in touch and sort of their mental health and keeping physically active, because we couldn't actually exercise together either. So yeah, we're sort of just planning as we went, and trying to keep the girls, you know, their mental health was at the forefront of the club's mind and our minds. And yeah, we sort of just had to rest on that for a little bit.
Kath, just with the preparation, we see Aussie rules players, and I was talking to Heen about connection or contact, and you know, what sort of preparation, how you've been giving preparation to your players. How do you prepare for a season when you can't connect with each other and off the court? It'd be pretty bizarre.
Yeah, well, I mean, AFL players, they start doing their contact. They started physically contacting each other this week. Well, with netball, I mean, we're so close to each other. You know, your goalkeeper is always against your goal shooter in the ring, and there's no way there's social distancing there. So really just giving them some fitness stuff to keep working on, and lots of footwork, because netballers need that quick, explosive footwork to improve and to, you know, to be better than their opponent. If you've got quicker feet, quicker explosion, then yeah, you can beat your opponent pretty well.
Is there specific, like, you know, exercise you do for that? Like the little, you know, I've seen the step ladder where you step in the step ladder and you go very quickly. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, step ladders. I actually did a junior messaged me yesterday, and I did. I don't know if you can see that. I did.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Diagrams of what she can do, and yeah, the president put out a thing saying, you know, contact your coach if you want some extra skills or drills training. And this, what I've done for her, it doesn't involve any equipment, so it's just more fast feet. Have 2 spots, and then do these certain things. And yeah, my scroll's not great, but hopefully she can read it. So that's just sort of the things that, yeah, we're trying to keep the girls motivated in that way, especially the juniors.
Kath, it's interesting to get a bit of a take on that, because I want to mention to you, I've been talking to my personal trainer from the gym that I normally go to, and unfortunately at the moment, as you would experience, I mean, you can't use gyms and pools. And I said, well, what are the things that I can do? I mean, I like to surf a little bit, but it's starting to get a bit cold. Love to run a couple of times a week. But one thing that resonated with me, and I've just started doing this, has been stair running. And I want to mention to you, we did have a guest on that is an Australian Diamonds netballer and Melbourne's Vixens player in Tegan Phillip a few weeks ago. And she said to me, there's a difference between, you know, normal fitness and netball fitness. And one of the things that I've found in covering local sport and, you know, Ocean Grove and particularly, you know, local netball and that sort of thing, is that during the pre-season, there's a lot of stair running that gets done, whether it's at the beach or just where there's a climb stairs. What's so effective about it? And can you tell me, and can you describe to me the difference between normal fitness and netball fitness?
Well, netball fitness, definitely it's stop-start. So there's a lot of knee impact, and you know, a lot of netballers have ACL injuries pretty frequently if they don't have that strength in their knees and their thighs and glutes, hammies. So I would say the benefit of stair running, which I hate stair running, but anyway, it's just that constant up and down motion where you're going as quick as you can, but you're working all of your legs and trying to get that fast pumping. Whereas your regular fitness, how often would you're just going for a jog and you might do some, you know, like a boot camp, you might do burpees, but how often do you constantly do, I don't know, down at Jen Jack, there might be 50 steps.
Well, I was doing that on the weekend.
Yeah.
I was doing the steps at Jan Jack on the weekend with the stair running.
Yeah. So you're constant, if you do 5 up and downs on Jan Jack, that is tough, and that would definitely improve your netball fitness compared to your just general fitness.
Yeah, I'm a little bit uncoordinated there when it comes to netball. I've had a sprained ankle before, but Mark Stone's got plenty of questions. I'll let you go for it, Tony.
Now, Kath, I was reading your rap sheet on your rock. Now, I want to go back to school, Kathryn, because specialist physical education teacher, I like that title, right? And just the whole physical, mental, social, emotional strength. The students, there's a lot of work goes into a physical education teacher. how have you done that with your students while you haven't been at school? Like, how have you done that?
Oh, well, Mark can probably, or Heenan can probably attest to my videos, my amazing videos on, I'll video something, and well, mostly for the juniors, I video myself doing the activities, and then they have to follow me. And it's more about getting them involved and watching me, and I'll do a dance off at the start and do some warm-ups. And then we did, one of the videos I did was we did body rock, paper, scissors. So I was, I would go, okay, this is rock, this is paper, this is scissors. And then after a few times, okay, you're ready, you're going to play against me. Ready, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And then they would, pretend that they were playing against me, just to try and keep them, seeing my face, and I was smiling and happy and trying to get them up and about and active. That was online. I mean, it's really tricky, but.
Kath, how have you found?
Mark,
go on, keep going.
Oh, Mark Stone, I just wanted to jump in and just mention it was interesting because we had a couple of students at the school that we're at, and it took a few takes with some of them because they had to present, and then you had to get the right angles, and then someone throwing the ball in the 6-step routine. I thought it was not so much a challenge. I wouldn't say it was a challenge so much for the educator or the person that was the teacher or the staff member. It was more trying to get the kids working on the same page because it was all about the teamwork. So, yeah, very interesting. And I thought I like your little 6-step guide. But, Mark, go for it, Mark Stone.
So the communication, how have you found the student and the interaction and being away from the contact where the student's on the other end of the computer and you're at this end? How's that connection been? Because we're going to, obviously, I think in time, it's going to change the world forever, but this whole Zoom connection type thing. But have you found the distance apart, I suppose, from your students?
Well, personally, because I haven't been really allowed to leave the house, so personally, I've found it quite challenging. I'm a really social person, and I like seeing and being with people, especially the kids and the staff at school. So I found it a little bit challenging, but it really made me happy because I would set work and say, follow me, and then their parents would take photos or videos of them doing the activities. So it made me really happy, and it put a big smile on my face, and I could see them with a big smile on their face doing the activities. And then I'd write a little comment, and then mum or dad or even the student would do a little comment back. So it was, they knew that I was always, looking at their work and assessing them as much as I could in that perspective.
I was definitely more of a fan of Google Classroom than Seesaw. That's because that's what I was used to, working with 5/6s. But that's another story. But hey, just talk about Modewarre, the community. Obviously, very unique in a lot of ways because it's not a city-based club. We know that, and you've gone to different origins. How do you feel the remoteness of that community within? You can't walk down there, and it's not an area where you're just going to walk from one house to another. How do those people communicate with the technology side? Because it is an isolated club. So how have you found that? Not so much with the netball players, but how do the committee and the community itself, even, existing sponsors and all that sort of stuff, what's sort of the relationship been like because you can't go to the ground?
Oh, well, I know that the board meet quite regularly on Zoom, and our netball president's quite good at communicating with us. We had a meeting last week about, the board meeting and where AFL Barwon is sort of going. In a sense, like if we are back when we were playing or getting organised to play netball, the club, I think, is different to other clubs because of the remoteness, if that makes sense. Like, people are there, they make the effort to go there because they want to be there. They don't do it for convenience. They do it because they want to. It's a different club. It is the country club, and people are making that effort to go out there and be involved at that club. So that's why I love it as well.
I'm just curious. I'm a country boy at heart myself, and have country connections up in Tallangata and Albury and all those sort of Wodonga. And what is the population of Princeton, and do you get home often?
I don't know. Well,
just a guess.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, no, maybe 1,000 people. It's not. It's more that area.
Yeah.
Of Princetown. Yeah, maybe. Oh, I couldn't tell. I could not tell you. I went to school at Timboon, Timboon P12, and sort of my parents' dairy farm is in Princetown, but it's sort of between the township of Princetown and the township of Simpson, if you know that area.
Yeah.
So it sort of spreads. It's quite a big area. I mean, obviously lots and lots of cows and animals, but yeah, small population down there. But it's amazing. It's beautiful down there.
It's God's country. Just so, is there any indication about possibly getting back, or is that exciting for you, and just be able to connect back with your teammates and back, with Modewarre and getting, so is that getting closer, do you think?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. The netball president, they're doing, FL Barwon meeting.
Yeah.
The netball presidents this week, and last week they met the football presidents. I have no idea. I think Modewarre board are meeting next week. So it's sort of just going off what they're doing. I think it would be awesome if we came back, but then you've got to factor in how long after the actual season will the season go for. It would be great to connect socially with the netball club and the football club again, and just to see, because usually you'd see them a couple of times a week, and now we're not seeing them at all. Well, now you can socialize with more people, but yeah, it's just, I think our well-being side of things probably needs to take precedence over wanting to get back and play straight away, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. It absolutely does.
And just to give you an update on, obviously, some of the clubs last night from a football netball capacity in the areas that I was in, had their lights on and started training. So whether it was 2 groups of 10 that are on the football or netball or football ground netball court, was there any update there that, I don't know, what's the lighting like at Modewarre? Can you facilitate that to happen?
Well, we did get, I'm pretty sure in all of this, we've got more lighting, and the courts will be finished by the end of this month. Yeah, by the end.
Yeah, I noticed that driving past there a few weeks ago that there was an upgrade of the actual. I'm not sure about the lighting, but the actual playing surface.
Yeah, so that's good. But the issue that we have at the moment is, footballers can have 10 to 1/2 of the oval, but netballers can have 10 to a court, but have to be on the sideline. Mm-hmm. So, it's all a bit up in the air, and we've got 5 senior teams, and then you've got all those junior teams, and the 5 senior teams, we always train together at the one location, but we've only got 3 courts. So we can't really train the 5 teams in the one night, or, have to be staggered. So we have to work that out once sort of the club and AFL Barwon have decided on what goes ahead with the season.
One last one, Kathryn.
Yep.
Will you, after the baby's born, are you keen to get back and play, or is this it?
Do you mean this year or
next year?
Yeah. Oh, I have every intention of coming back next year for sure. The list we got this year, so we had a couple of girls were supposed to be moving overseas. One moved interstate. Another one is actually just had a baby, and another one is having a baby in October. So, we had a bit of a shuffle around with our A-grade team. So it's been really exciting to recruit these new girls that have either heard through word of mouth and they've been decent players, or boyfriends have been recruited that their girlfriends just happen to be good players as well. So it was a really exciting rebuilding year. So I'm pumped for next year. I can't wait. I think going off the vibe that we had once we chose our squads, it was going to be a fantastic year. Like that sounds really, yeah, but it was going to be awesome. And then all this happened. But yeah, I'm pumped for next year. I'm excited to step out and, start training again. I've been doing my own fitness stuff, but again, netball fitness is very different to just regular fitness, and haven't been able to go as hard because I've got something in my belly that's sort of restricting that. But yeah, no, super pumped for next season, and yeah, to get back out with the new girls.
Hey, Kath, just a couple of things before we let you go. One of the last weekends of sport, I got to see the Australian cricket team women's win the World Cup final, and then the next day I was in Colac. I think you were there too. The Essendon Geelong game. When I watched that, and who would have believed it, Mark Stone? That was one of the last footy matches this year, practice matches, and then all of a sudden the COVID world shut down the sporting fraternity, a week later or so. But I reckon in these times you're surrounded by a bit of banter. You're surrounded by the Bombers. I don't really know your partner, but from what I hear, he's a bit of a prankster, and he's quite a humorous fella. And also too, the guy that we work with at our school, which we'll mention, Tate Street Primary School. I'm not sure what Newcomb's like, but I have worked there before. He loves his Bombers, and he likes to have a bit of banter. So there's two males that you've had to work with and live with in your life where you're surrounded by a bit of banter and the Bombers. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, actually, my partner's colleague made a little beanie, a little Bombers beanie. So when the baby comes out, we've got to put the beanie straight on it. A Bombers fan straight away. I'm neither here nor there. I like footy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not really. We'll go to a couple of games a year. We're not diehard like the old Tate Street principal.
And Bryce, has he kept things really funny during these times of balancing work and maternity leave, and obviously the netball coaching commitments?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got to not take yourself too seriously in life, don't you? Well, this is his office during lockdown, and because he's a teacher as well. So he enjoyed it, and we used to have our scheduled recess and lunch, which sounds a bit funny, but and most of the time, if he'd come out for recess, I'd go, and this is every day for the however many weeks, 7 weeks that we're in lockdown teaching. We'd sit down at the table and I'd go, hey, staff room's pretty busy today, isn't it? Or like, staff room's quiet today. So we sort of just I'd said it every single day. By the end of it, he goes, I'm ready to get back to normal school now. I've had a staff room joke.
Well, the best thing about the start of the week, when it was on the Monday, we had a curriculum day, and Terry got the coffee van, paid for everything. Everyone had coffees. We had tea and scrumpets. We had the little donut quarters. We had sausage rolls. We had party pies. It was a bit like a halftime entertainment at the BFL Grand Final. Media pass, getting all those little things, indulgences along the way. Hey, we wanted to really thank you for coming on the Heen podcast. We think some of the things that you're faced with this year, it's been probably a challenging year, but probably one of the most rewarding years of your life. With the birth, and then obviously the COVID-19 shutdown and the Modewarre. Not only just captaincy commitments that you've had previously, but the coaching commitments as well. Like, you really are a unique person in the community, and this is what we love about this sort of podcast, is that we talk to so many people in the community, but also that have unique perspectives and people that are leaders. And we can see that you're a great leader, what you're doing with the work with school and how that's connecting to your home life with the Zoom aspect. But we just really wanted to thank you from the bottom of our heart for coming on the Heen View podcast to talk about what you're doing during this isolation period and how you're coping with it.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome.
Thanks, Kathryn.
Not a problem. Mark Stone, what a great guest. Kathryn Vickers, who goes by the name of Vickers all the time. But in terms of her playing attributes and some of the things that she does off the netball court as well, it's great to get a unique perspective like that.
Yeah, it certainly is. And something about country people I really like, Heno, and Kathryn, as she likes to be called, is a country girl. And it's great to have her on the show, and just get more and more people like Kathryn will be right.
They're very down-to-earth people, so that's what makes them so good. And, you know, I'm an old country boy at heart as well, growing up in Colac. But we want to make sure that if there's any guests out there that want to get in contact the Stonehenge View Facebook page. Type in the Stonehenge View on Facebook. Our podcast is all available on iTunes. It's also available on Spotify and Podbean. And yeah, we're obviously having a unique people coming up. We've got an AFL recruiter on next week, Mark Stone. So that's going to be big too.
It will be, and we go to the Sydney Swans, and the Sydney Swans supporters will love the chat we're going to have next week.
Well, good stuff, and we'll see you next time on the Stonehenge View. And bye for now. Have a great time.